What are you worthy of in life? If you only hold up a little water bottle, the universe can only fill up a little water bottle. If you hold up a giant bucket or whatever, then the universe can fill up the giant bucket. And so your receptive energies of the second house is what you receive in order to be able to have food, shelter, water, survival, and thrival.
Lunatic astrology.
Hello there, Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. Wow, August of 2026 is a big deal. We have eclipses ratcheting through the sky in a way that's going to change your relationship to your financial wellness. In fact, for the first time in maybe a lifetime, money stories are going to change in a dramatic way. You might begin to understand just how rich you can be because you're going to assess what matters to you when it comes to money. This beginning is all about that eclipse in Leo. It is total, it is powerful, and it is rare. And we also have an eclipse in your Pisces sky to talk about as well. These are kinds of eclipse cycles that are bringing new beginnings and endings to your life, as well as faded change. So let's break it down for the month ahead. We'll cover everything else you need to know as the sky moves forward, but you are a lunar ruled being, and every eclipse involves the moon, whether it's the new moon eclipse or the full moon eclipse. Eclipses change your reality. So let's get started, shall we? My name is Lori Lothian, and this is the Western Tropical Zodiac Astrology. We always use a whole sign house system here because that is the ancient tradition, and indeed it's what we all do on YouTube. We pretend we're using whole sign houses. Please consider looking at my how to cast your chart in whole sign houses tutorial down below so you'll be on the same page. All right, so I'm going to show you the sky, but before we begin, Cancer, understand that you have spent a year with Jupiter in your sign. This has given you a new energy. This has given you a reset that lasts about 12 years. Jupiter left your sign now. He's in Leo, but as of June 30th, but you have been benefiting from him even when times seem hard. Because I know some of you said it wasn't so great. That was because he was squaring Saturn on and off. But all said and done, it was a very protective energy for you. And some of you may have gotten pregnant, become a grandparent, increased your wealth, looked at life through the half full cup lens, and had other lucky blessings. Now, Jupiter's moved to your money house. And so this means that in the month of August, and this is true through till July of 2027, there's an attempt by Jupiter to bring more prosperity, abundance, growth, and expansion on your resources front. This is what you possess. This is what you own. This is your wallet. This is your pocketbook. This is the Jupiterian narrative. And you get him here every 12 years. It's not entirely brand new. But what I want you to notice in August is he begins to engage in the land of eclipses. And that's because the South Node of Fate will enter into Leo as well and transform your relationship to money itself. Not just how much you have, but what you feel, think, and know about your own self-worth and your own value. What are you worthy of in life? If you only hold up a little water bottle, the universe can only fill up a little water bottle. If you hold up a giant bucket or whatever, then the universe can fill up the giant bucket. And so your receptive energies of the second house is what you receive in order to be able to have food, shelter, water, survival, and thrival. So this is a month for you to see a new story for the first time in a lifetime. You probably could go back to 1990 when Jupiter South Node were here and there were eclipses for about 3 months in 1990. There was a combination of influences. Otherwise, it's in the 1800s. So there's not a lot of comparison we can possibly make. And Jupiter traveling with that South Node will be there for a year, which makes it extraordinarily first in a lifetime. Let's talk now about the sky by bringing the sky to your awareness, and I'll show you the pictures. Now, a lot of people ask about how to listen. Sun, moon, and rising. Sun is your career and purpose. Moon is your feelings and your emotions and your home. And your sun is your true you, by the way, the essential nature of who you really are, spirit, the playing in matter. And then you have an ascendant. That's your body, your character in the simulation, your persona, your character. And so the sun will infuse that, right, and become what you are, your rising sign. Listen for your rising sign, especially regarding eclipse matters, but you can also listen for sun and moon. And before we go into the chart, I show it to you, and we spend 30 minutes outlining this month for you. I think a lot of you do know that I teach astrology and have for years, and this is my 7th season teaching Sky Reader. I'm so excited by this class. I've got 5 guest teachers teaching on how to pick the perfect time to launch something to medical astrology. These guest classes are add-on bonuses that you get when you study 7 weeks with me this fall on how to time your best life. And I know it's a big, bold promise, but I'm really opening up hopefully opening you up to how to move with the sky, not against it, by understanding the basic language of astrology, reading your own natal sky, and moving from there to some simple divine timing tools that are easy for everyone to use. So come aboard, weekly Q&A calls, teaching assistants helping me, a Facebook group and a Discord group to get together with other students and learn and talk to each other and share your results. And well, it's fun. So come join me. It's one of my favorite things to teach, only every September. Never do I resell that product, and I only teach once a year. This is your chance to jump in. In the description box below is everything you need to know. By the end of July, the early bird discount of 40% is over, but then there's a new discount code in August. And so you'll always be some discount until we get to September 1st, and then it's going to be full price. So please jump in and join us. Okay, let's get started. At the end of this video, I'll do a little extra outro, whatever it's called. Well, I'll be talking more about the course, showing you the website and giving you more feedback on how it looks and works back there. So you might be more curious. Go to the end of this video and watch that little 5 to 10 minute production. Okay, so I'm having a day. I'm recording this for you on July 13th, and Riverside is my new studio, and I'm back on Zoom. And that's because Riverside is down internationally. They're having outages. The servers are down. So I'm back on Zoom. I don't know what the video quality will be like compared to Riverside, but I bet you the microphone sounds better. So let's get started. So here you are, an ascendant in the sign of Cancer. You can pretend your sun or moon is here, like it is right here, because that's all we do when we say sun, moon, and rising. We just locate your positions to the first house and then track what we call derived houses. That's a class, but that's the gist. So Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. First of all, yeah, Jupiter. He's gone into your second house, as I said, on June the 30th. He's going to be joined by the node of fate right here. And why am I in July? I don't know. That just is so weird. Let's go ahead and get to August. That's August 4th. That'll do. And you'll see that the node is joined in as well. And one of the things about this is that fated circumstances connected to money come into your life, but you're going to increase money as well. This is a north node of increase in chunky money. It can be inheritances, resources, investments, pension plan money, royalty income, Google AdSense, other people's money, shared resource money is going to increase for you over the next 18 months. I've got a lot of videos out about eclipses and the nodal shift, so please watch those as well. And like and subscribe if you like this kind of content, please. But what I want to notice about this for you is that because you are lunar ruled, as I mentioned in the intro, the eclipses have a massive impact on your life. You're the one sign and the solar sign, the Leos and Cancers, that must watch the eclipse cycle. It really defines who you are and what you're up to. So I give you that, like, to remember eclipses matter for you more than any other sign. As we begin the month, not much is happening. We start off the first 5 days of August, and it's all just that little bit of a triangle left over from Barbo's basket of July, and that is literally all you got going of any note, and everybody has it. It's big transpersonal flow in your chart between houses, 12, whole sign, 10 and 8. It could be good for your career, flow in your money as well. But then we move further down the line to around the 6th, 7th, 8th of the month, and the sun is beginning to form a trine relationship to Saturn, which is to say ease, flow, and harmony. It's in connection with what you're doing in your career and the money you're making. There's a sense that hard work begins to pay off and that money begins to flow because you are grinding, you are persevering, you are working hard, and this is now starting to look like ka-ching in some way. Maybe you're getting a paycheck raise, maybe you're just saving more of the money you make, maybe you're feeling a sense of stability when it comes to career, work, and money matters. In fact, the sun is with Jupiter, who does rule your work house. So there's a kind of glow up and flow up here for you, approximately feeling it August the 5th until about the 9th. So enjoy that ride. It should feel like an oasis of money connected to career, ease and flow, and harmony. Now, when we pass that story and we get to the 9th and 10th of August, Venus, the goddess of love and beauty and money, is going to find herself in a opposition to the god of delusion, Neptune. This is going to begin because Venus is moving into Libra. She will have spent a few weeks behind you in Virgo, maybe giving you some stress with siblings. That is one way that may have played out, or difficulties with your neighbors, or constriction in travel. And that is behind you now. She, in fact, was in the sign of Virgo from, oh my goodness gracious, July 9th to August 7th. August the 7th, she crosses into the sign of Libra. You are benefiting from her home kingdom dignity. This is a great time to decorate your home, to buy a new home, to sell a home, to invite women to spend time with you in the home and to enjoy your home and your hometown, your homeland, but your actual domicile, wherever you live. Venus is going to be here, by the way, from her ingress on the 7th of the month, all the way through August, all the way through until September the 10th, 6th, 7th, time zone dependent. So until about September 10th, you've got her good graces in the home. It's a really good time to uh, go back and like your childhood is here and people you grew up with are here. So reconnecting to those people in loving and beautiful ways anywhere between August the 7th and September 10th will actually delight you. Now, say you were single looking for a relationship, her transit here can bring a relationship close to home. Maybe you're just wandering down the street one day, you know what I mean? And voila, you meet someone in your neighborhood or outside your front door. So who knows? All right, we'll move on and talk about the next thing that's happening in the sky. So once we get past the opposition to Neptune, she's giving you a clear-eyed view from your home base about what you want to create or achieve in your career, and you're dispelling any confusion. But be careful because new love can have a soulmate vibe should you meet somebody under this influence of Venus here around the 9th and 10th. But hopefully this soulmate vibe is true because the retrogradation is usually about the fog is clearing and Saturn is about realism. So there's a potential new relationship for singletons that you're going to say, I'm feeling clear-eyed about it. This is not a fantasy. If you're with somebody already, because Saturn does rule your marriage house, there can be a clarification of the kind of love that you want to have with your partner in your domestic private life, in your bedroom, in your alone time with them. So there may be some major clarifications of what this union is. Is it like friends with benefits? Is it real love? What are we doing here, guys? Okay, next, we move on. When we move to the second week of the month, and she's got her old school papers here handy, we're going to talk about Mercury. This is around the 11th. Don't forget, we're building for that eclipse in your money house, total solar eclipse on August the 12th. But around the 11th, Mercury will unveil something for you. He will show you what was hidden from view so that you may indeed know the truth. Mercury is going to be in moving in on around the 10th of the month, your money house. Good for you to buy and sell things, market and merchandise, selling and commerce. Good for that stuff. In fact, you want to use that to launch a product, buy a home, sell something, sell a possession, sell your car, buy a car. Mercury in your second house is super juicy there. And he's going to be in that part of your chart all the way from August the 9th, 10th all the way until about the 25th of August. Okay, so that's really a good time for buying and selling property and real estate, especially in a sextile to Venus, or selling a property or selling a car, or doing commercial enterprises in and from your home. But the opposition to Pluto that happens around the building up around the 10th, feeling it more exactly right here around the 11th. That is going to be uncovering something that you might not have known or seen clearly on your money front. Now, it's Pluto in the 8th house. It could be your shared monies, your in-law monies, your inheritance monies, proceeds from the sale of a property monies, bank loans, financing, refinancing, mortgages, clarity, clear sight, clear knowing, and probably information. Some information, a document, an email. I mean, it's kind of funny with the sextile to Venus and old inheritance money comes back to you that, I know, it's kind of weird. I say it doesn't have to be old, but there can be revelations about family of origin money as well as money from all of your investments. Anyway, there's a seeing what is unseen, knowing what is unknown, something is uncloaked, something is revealed, basically is what I'm saying. So look to that 10th to 12th of August for that revelation. On the 12th, we have the eclipse. You see it here. It's going to be at 20 degrees of Leo. It's going to be total, and it's with the south node of surrender, release, and let go. This might propel you to quit your earnings structure, to begin to think about a new way to create resources in your life. And because it's a total solar eclipse, look to about 6 weeks to a month before the eclipse of August 12th. Look to up to a year later for you to want to begin to move towards a massive change of your earning strategy. But because you are also benefiting from Jupiter's presence, there should be an increase. But sometimes Jupiter in the second house is like a seed planter. He's putting golden eggs in the nest and they're going to hatch maybe a year later or 2 years later. So be patient with this process. But it is not a day in the life of August 12th, may not change much. It's how this is going to infuse a portal of change that is fated in your finances, maybe in your work and in your career direction. Now, one more thing about the second house, it does have a lot to do with your speech, your voice. And if you use your voice professionally to teach, to speak, to talk, there's going to be a major portal of power opening for those of you who are very speech oriented in the work livelihood sector, talking in front of people, getting on YouTube or whatever that could be for you. And the sun is at home here, Jupiter is powerful here, Mercury is good here. It's the south node though that says what we let go of is allowing us to take something new into our hands. You cannot hold something when you cannot, if you have your fist clenched, onto something like that money, that job, that career, that work path, you can't open it to receive the thing that wants to show up. The South Node will give you more truth about what you're trying to show up for, to receive by releasing what you already have. Moving on then to the next story, Cancer. The solar eclipse is happening, and then, drum roll, please. The next thing you want to notice is that Mercury gets really mucked up in a positive energy field while Venus trines Uranus. Now, it's all happening in one big flow, and so it's really hard to parse it. But you'll notice that when Venus and Mercury flow together, and you see that on the eclipse, which is baking in that flow, and then the next day the flow is continuing, this is kind of like the 12th, 13th, 14th energy is something along the lines of lucky things, fortunate things happen regarding money, earnings, resources, land, property, and real estate. Okay, now Venus rules the house of a sibling one older than you. So there can be an energy of, and Mercury rules the house of siblings in general, or a sibling one younger than you. So you may find that some of this fortunate flow is connected to those siblings or siblings in general, and that this is financial positivity in sibling connections. Or an opportunity maybe for a trip involving siblings because of Mercury's rulership of siblings and your third house of short distance travel. Well, at the same time, Venus is also getting ready to hook up with Uranus in a nice surprise of financial or love wellness. Uranus is always that stupid cliche to expect the unexpected. And I kind of say stupid, but you know what I mean, right? And so with this flow between Venus and Uranus, what does it mean? There's a surprise of some sort that's going to land on your doorstep, and it has to do with money from abroad or home property and real estate opportunities connected to far off lands, shores, and people. This can be digital income, borderless revenue here. This can be Venus in the house of the home. Sure, you may have an unexpected expenditure, but then Mercury says we have the money. Jupiter says we have the money for that expenditure, and it may be connected to real estate. An unexpected expense is you want to buy that property next door. Oh, you can do it. You have money somehow, some way. There's also this vibe that you could just be feeling really drawn to spending some time with your siblings. This may involve a sudden surprise opportunity to journey somewhere with them within your own country at a great distance, perhaps, or locally. But it's a positive surprise. It is going to just feel good, and you're going to, and with the flow to Pluto by Venus and Uranus, this energy, this grand trine could open up a financial windfall archetype. Not necessarily like winning the lottery at all. It's not that type of sky, but it just feels like a wealth moment for you, a positive wealth moment for you. All right. And we keep on going through the sky and we keep seeing these formations forming as they're prone to do. And it's mostly Mercury Venus. And this Mercury Venus thing lasts about 3 days, August the 12th to the 14th. So this is good news as well, and good news about home and real estate and property and parents. Your parents are here, particularly my tradition, the mother. Now, moving on past that story, we come into a bit of a union, a new beginning, a fresh start, and good news as well, as Jupiter, the greater benefic, very Santa Claus like, joins Mercury for a kind of good news, cheerful energy, positive developments on the money front. Around the 15th of August, it's exact. Give it a day before and after. With the sun still here lighting up the sky, there's something very illuminating about your money that's also very good and positive. I would say that's good financial moves as well. Like you might sell a product or launch something and do really well, but it also could just be good financial news. That's it. Simple, powerful, clean, and clear. And with a sort of general flow to your 10th house, it could be job news, career news, and earnings news and good news at this time. Sometimes it's just a bonus. Jupiter's like, here's a chunk of bonus money. You might get a bonus check at work or something, and this is the news that you're receiving that check. Or yeah, something along those lines. So look for good money news around August 15th. Who doesn't want that? And then we got a little bit of another story here. We're going to have some grinding of the gears, and we're also going to have some positive stuff coinciding with each other around August 16th, 17th. What it is that Mars is going to square Neptune, which is gritty. At the same time, Venus is going to hook up with Jupiter. Now, you see how much goodness is happening here in the middle of the month for you. This is nice. This is Jupiter and Venus really holding hands in a beautiful flowing sextile. Like they got a little skip rope going back and forth between them. And you'll feel it pretty exact on the 17th. Give it a day or two before and maybe a day after. It's more of the good news. It's more of the lucky breaks, but the lucky breaks can connect to multiple themes. Again, home property, real estate, money, earnings, and resources. Venus also rules your house of windfalls and pennies from heaven. It can feel really, really lucky for you. She exalts your ninth house of foreign people and places, and maybe all foreigners, foreign journeys, foreign travel opportunities. But Jupiter wants to make it feel big and bold, and Venus wants to say it's pleasurable and fun. I think some of you, because of Jupiter, being the ruler of the like the body of the ruler of you, first of all, he's your exaltation lord, so he does you a favor every single time, right? He is exalting the sign of Cancer, but he also is the ruler of your work house, and that could be a work breakthrough, a raise, a promotion, or you get to work from home, or you get some kind of perk in the job and career setting, but it changes things in a positive way in your home life. Now you can afford the thing you want in your home. I think a lot of you might be looking at also rental property opportunities. That's because Jupiter ruling the house of rentals and also of pets, by the way, could bring you a new pet. This Jupiter lucky break around the 17th, it could bring you some good news about animals and pets, but it also can give you a rental opportunity. You might want to rent a property as a tenant, or you might be a landlord with a rental tenancy opportunity coming through. So there's that vibe as well. And if any of you are indebted, credit card debt, holding a lot of debt, this can cancel your debt, okay? Debt cancellation moment could happen here as well, August the 17th, day or two before and after. I know it's a bed of roses, right? All right, moving on. The Mars squared Neptune is gritty. It's just gritty. And the grit is made of a particular style. It's like, where are you feeling that you need to clear something out of your imagination or thoughts that could be a delusion? You're not sure if it's real or not. And you might have deluded yourself into working really hard, for example, in a career that now you're seeing through the fog of your hopes and dreams and fantasies of how wonderful it is. Now you're like, I don't know about this, because Mars will be in your sign, and we got to address that. This is a big deal. Every 2 years, Mars comes into your sign, and this year he enters on August the 11th and exits on September 28th. And this is going to put a sword in your hand, but it looks like a water pistol to me because we're in the Cancer swimming pool. And you are going to be taking aim with that water pistol at things you want to point at, cut, end, and sever as well from your life, right? Who, what, and where do you no longer want to be? And you've got a lot of emotion around it. So try to cool your temper down, cool your emotions, because you got a hot headed energy or hot hearted energy. Your emotions can run high through August 11th to September 28th. But because eventually he'll square Saturn, and he is in a broad square to your 10th house, by seeing a reality check around the work front, you might be getting ready to make a change. Now, that can also impact your long-term love relationship. Okay, I've got to give you that. So be careful there too, because Saturn up there rules your 10th house of marriage. And so, seventh house of marriage. And so there can also be a wanting to sort of aim at your partner in a way of aggressive, demanding, or maybe get out of here. I'm done with you vibration. And that's going to be very intense for you later in the month, but you're starting to feel it building up August the 11th. So you can be very short with others in your life that are important to you, including a sibling 3 older or 3 younger than you in birth order. You're the firstborn, then there's, secondborn and a thirdborn in birth order or above you. All right, moving past that grit, there's a nice little zippity doo here happening with Mercury trining Saturn around the 17th as well. It's kind of like hard work and commerce and or information in a flow state. We're in the same zone of the 17th, and maybe information about stabilizing your career, news or offers or negotiations or deals regarding career matters, and long range plans, the long game, the big strategy, or even maybe pulling back away from retrograde some of your obligations in your work and kind of scaling it back a bit. If you have too many obligations and responsibilities in your work, you might be wanting to be pulling away from that. And you may be making that clear to yourself or others around mid-August, particularly the 16th to the 18th of August, okay? If you're retired, you're scaling back from your public activities that people see you doing in your retirement, especially if any of those activities involve a sense of service and being of service to others. Passing that next story, we're going to move forward and we're talking about oops, I got to get the right papers for us here, guys. I got so many papers on my desk, I don't even know what I'm doing. Well, we'll go with what I've got in my hand. So August is moving us towards Saturn and Venus around, I guess, about the 20th. And it's going to be kind of a love can be hard, money can be hard, right? That's the vibration of Venus, Saturn opposing each other. And it kind of gets into its most precise area here around August 21st. So, a couple days before and after August 21st, you might be feeling this tension between your home life and your work life. Like you want to just enjoy your life at home. You want to relax. You want to have pleasure. You want to have fun. You want to decorate. You want to make a beautiful space. You just want to have peace and inner harmony in your home. And maybe friends visiting your home or a sibling even. Someone could be visiting and you're also like, oh, I got all this work to do. Or I'm so busy in the public, or there's responsibilities I have to my boss or to people in authority. And you just want to do quiet home, like, get down with your own pleasure in the home, relaxing in the home, enjoyment of the home, private life, downtime. It's like you could take a vacation here and it won't work. You'll be still drawn to work. So be careful for that dynamic. August 21st, you'll probably feel it even 3 days before and up to 2 days after. I'd advise against trying to relax at home here. You might have to prepare a way to make it easier to relax at home because it looks like you've got a lot of work life or authority, responsibility at odds with what you want to do in the home life itself. All right. And we move beyond that stress point there. And we could talk about the Sun, Mercury on August 27th and the eclipse on August 28th. Mercury is going to do a heart of the Sun cazimi, but he's in a superior conjunction. He's not retrograde. And this is a conjunction that will occur in his home sign of Virgo. The good news is that he's where he is powerful, and then therefore what he brings you can be positive. This will happen at 4 degrees, 5 degrees-ish, really 4, on August the 27th. And the next day there will be an eclipse. Mercury conjunct the sun in your second house. Okay. And on August the 29th, on August the 29th, 27th, we have Mercury joining the sun in the third house. Forget about money. Forget about resets. No, it's not that. It's your siblings. It's travel. It's short distance travel, running, communicating, marketing, selling, doing the online shtick, creating a website, dealing with your neighbors. Reset, reset, reset button. You want to start something new here. You're going to start fresh. This reset button can unfold over several months. It's not just the day of, but you're going to feel maybe some news or information or clarity coming through like a divine download on the day of this conjunction, which will be the 27th of the month, and it will happen at 4 degrees of Virgo. So that's what you're looking for, this divine reset button. And no, we don't want to go by hours. We want to go by days, and I'm having a day. All right. So as this is occurring, you can see it. It's also going to open up a potential finger of God, which we're going to talk about on my channel. So please consider liking and subscribing. This is a big deal. This finger of God is a destined mission around certain matters in your life. We're not going to go into that now because that's too long to cover. Sun Mercury happens, and the next day the Pisces eclipse occurs at 5 degrees of Pisces. So let's watch that eclipse in your ninth house together. So this will be at 5 degrees opposite the sun and Mercury. The eclipse is going to reflect an eerie red glowy light. It's a partial eclipse into your ninth house. You had an eclipse here in September 24, September 25, and this is a last for 18 years. This is going to open up a fated directional change in your life's purpose, your life's dharmic direction, things to do with legal cases, foreign travel and foreign shores, and academic settings, as well as your spiritual philosophy. Having this new beginning of like a new light to see the way, to know the way forward is important. It's also another story. The North Node, unlike last eclipse here in fall of 25, is aiming at the chunks of money. All right. It's the beginning of an increase of resources in your life where you can depend on them. There could be passive income, right? There could be money from inheritances. There could be money from spousal support. This is the beginning of that kind of money accumulating over the next 18 months, and this eclipse activates it. This is great for those of you who might want to get involved in making money internationally, in an international environment, work with international customers or clients. It's also really good for book publishing. And you want to get royalty income and make it rich there, you could do that. Anything to do with the world of publications, teaching, education, academia, courts, and all of that. Now, if you were in a court battle, this could be you're going to get a chunk of money off that and you're going to win some money. And that could be why your money is increasing. But there's an illuminating light in the ninth house for you to pay attention to what is happening there. Okay, look at the details and pay attention to what is happening. There is a big deal. And you've gone through these eclipses in the ninth house already. So starting in September 2024, it will probably involve career changes, but you're still under this energetic field. It's a learning house, could propel you to destined learning in the occult arts. Some of you may study, Hermetic wisdom, gene keys, astrology, numerology. All of this stuff is very active for you in the next 6 months after this eclipse, and you may be learning a lot and studying a lot in that area as well with a teacher or a teaching or a modality. All right, the day after the eclipse or during the eclipse into the day after the eclipse, the sun will square Uranus. Sun and Uranus in a square as a surprise, any unexpected, shocking energy or a breakthrough. And with the sun in your third house, Uranus in the 12th house, there may be a shocking surprise regarding a sibling relationship. It could involve a sibling's health as well, because Virgo is a sign of health and Uranus is in the house of medical clinics and hospitals. And this would be in your chart the sibling that would be one younger than you, if I was being specific, but it can be just siblings in general. And a surprising challenge with the health of a sibling. It doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. You just get some information or news coming your way about that. The sun is also the ruler of your money house, and there may be a surprising redirection in your finances that you didn't see coming, especially if you make borderless income, digital revenue, and you work in the online world. Now, Sun square Uranus may be a positive surprise. It doesn't have to be negative. Jupiter's trying to bless you in that second house. As we get into the end of the month, we have Jupiter trining Saturn for hard work pays off with bounty and prosperity. This is career money. This is going to take place for the end of the month, the 27th of August into the first couple of days of September. You're seeing the bounty, the prosperity, the luck connected to your drive, ambition, responsibility, and hard work in some professional activity, or if you're retired, in your visible actions in the world in some way. At the very end of the month, however, Mars will square Saturn just as he did Neptune. This is where I always call this the breaking point. Something's got to give. It is a push and pull between two planetary objectives. Mars is moving through the sign of you. Your sun, your moon, your rising. You're the decider, you're the chooser, and this is what you want to decide about. It's certainly a matter of a career question for you. And it can be a career question connected to your own desire not to bear too many burdens or too much responsibility, or the boss is a problem child for you. You know what I mean? If something's got to give, something's got to give. The moon was just involved in an eclipse, right? In the ninth house. The moon is still coming off that eclipse. It was a full moon. The moon is technically still full in the sky. And so a full moon light is shining in your 10th house of career as you are making a decision about what you want to do. And this also includes your spouse. Saturn represents your spousal partner. There's a major illumination, maybe a reality check about a relationship with a spouse if you have a spouse. Okay, or a sibling 3 years old, three above you or three under you in birth order. All right, thanks for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And next, we're going to go ahead and you're going to see the next story, which will be the what do you call it? It will be the next story, the Sky Reader overview for 10 minutes. I hope some of you will join me in Sky Reader. I'd love to see you there. Every year I teach Sky Reader in the fall. It's always in September. It's usually 6 weeks long. And this time we're going for 7. We're taking it a little slower, giving you a very kind of leg up first week, which we take the pieces of the sky and teach you to read them in a very constructive and well-paced manner. This is my favorite class to teach. When I teach Sky Reader, I always feel so excited because you have learned to read your own sky. You now know what your chart is all about, and you know how to read the basic language of astrology for your friends, family, and your children, whoever you want to share it with. No, we're not professionally certifying you. At Lunatic Astrology, I'm your teacher, Lori Lothian. We're teaching you to fish so that when you listen to me on YouTube and you're getting all of that guidance, maybe you can also get your own. You know, we don't want to move against the sky. We want to move with the sky. We want to move in the area of our lives that brings us flow and ease, because the sky supports that. And by having a knowledge of what the sky is saying and relative to our own natal sky, we are able to operate at a new level. That level is about flow. It is about not arguing with what is happening and moving in the direction of what wants to happen. It is so darn simple. Life is full of ups and downs, but if you know that there's a swamp, 2 doors away, and if you walk that way, you're going to get stuck in quicksand, you can avoid that. If you go to the left instead of the right, there's a beautiful meadow with a lake. Why not take that path? The sky is always grabbing us. It's called the grahas, or the grabbers. The planetary planets, like where they're going in the sky, the transits, that moving heavens, the moving stars, the map of time is a map of where we should avoid getting stuck and where we may move forward with freedom. And the grabber part of planets is that they're almost like celestial teasers, right? They want to grab us and make us move in a direction. Sometimes it's not in our highest and best good. And I don't mean in a conscious, malefic way. I just mean you can take something like Neptune and make it all about transcendence and spiritual union and high creativity and imagination. And you can take it all the way down to drug addiction, and destitution maybe, and even things to do with mental challenges, health challenges. So you can operate at all levels of every planet. In Sky Reader, we show you your highest potential. Now, this is an introductory class. If you want to come to Sky Reader to be your own astrologer and time your best life, then you're coming because you are curious astrologically. You're not coming because you've already taken some heavyweight courses under your belt. You're coming because you've been listening to my channel or other astrologers, and you've always had a curiosity about learning, and you always want to learn to read the sky, which is the map of time. So I'm hoping some of you will come join me there, because I've graduated hundreds of students so far, and the feedback is wonderful. And I invite all of my students, former, to come back every year and play around in redoing the course for 75% off, because I think the more you do it, the more you deepen it. We have guest teachers every year. When you join Sky Reader, you get the archived vault. In other words, you can go back and watch other guest classes in astrocartography, the astrology of relocation, and things to do with zodiacal releasing and more. We have these guest teachers coming in this year, are so much fun. We have a guest teacher about the love codes, Donnie Lim of astrology, learning to read your Venus story. We have a guest teacher coming in about medical or wellness astrology. We have another one showing us about how to choose the perfect day to do something, day and time to launch your website, get married. That's called electional astrology. We have what's your purpose, dharma kind of thing with another teacher. So what we're doing is we're giving you a lot of content. What you're doing is you're taking time to learn, but also to hold on to that content forever. It is evergreen. Once you have it, you never don't have it. If it's over your head at first, you won't be over your head when you take a second stab at it. Weekly Q&As, different time zones, so we can get people around the world in those Q&As. We alternate between evening and night every second week on Wednesday nights, and usually they're at 5:30 or 6 p.m. Pacific time. We also have the idea that the class itself is now happening at 9:30 a.m. in Pacific time on Saturday, starting on the 19th of September. So that's wonderful. We have a Facebook group and a Discord group that we have moderators running, where you can meet other people who are learning astrology, share your notes, and get to meet some new astrologically curious friends. Who knows? You might meet your soulmate there. And we're also taking you through a journey that is sequential, from learning to read the sky to being able to use 2 very profound timing tools to help you understand your reality and begin to move forward with ease and grace. The feedback from Sky Reader year after year has been phenomenal, and every time I teach it, I learn to make it more simple, more well-paced, and more easy for you to grasp. So I'm in 7 years of doing this. I think I'm getting it down finally to a fine art, thanks to you guys. I'm going to show you the website just so you see what it looks like. I'm now moving most of my content to lorilothian.com. It used to be somewhere else at Padaya. If you're there already, nothing is taken away from you. At this point, though, I'll show you the new website so you can take a gander at what the sky looks like over there, what my site looks like. And I hope to see some of you in class. I always say this, and I'm not making this up. You might probably think, oh, that's a sales pitch. Oh, I might not teach this next year. That's not true. I always wonder if I'm just going to retire and start to write books. And my agent wants me to write a book. And so I have a lot on my plate to get done in this life. Legacy is to leave a book behind. So for me, when I say I may not teach this next year, Lori may not teach this next year. Okay. All right. So this is the website, lorilothian.com. If you go /sky-reader, you'll be at the introduction to the course and the enrollment page. We're on a discount code right now until the end of July. Well, it's not a code, it's just a discount. There's 40% off the full price. And then in August, depending on when you hear this, there'll be another lower price, not as discounted as July's early enrollment price, but by September, it will go to full price. So make sure that you get in this class with a discount if that's something you're looking for. So you can see this beautiful website was created by my team. I think it's gorgeous. Learn to read your sky. And then there's a preview of what we have going on. So when you get into the course backdrop and you're there, you're going to have like stuff already waiting for you, a little tutorial on how to cast your chart in whole sign houses, free minis of the 12 houses PDF. And I have what I call your Astro Toolkit. I'm always adding more stuff to that toolkit. You don't need a professional software. You can use Astrocom, astro-seek.com, time passages. These are free softwares. This is not requiring you to purchase professional software in order to learn in my course. And you'll see that we have the toolkit here. These are elements that go in, how to cast your chart in whole sign houses. These are already in the back end of the program. Your cheat sheet pack, 12 signs, 12 houses guide. This is just learning tools. This is all going to help you learn. For most classes, I'll be putting together a handbook to help guide you through each class, which is new this year, kind of a prompts, a questions, things to fill out so that you can use it as a kind of self-study tool. Just print it out on a PDF on a computer. I'll aim to keep it black and white, of course, so you don't have to worry about color. And then we see that the Astrology 101 is we set you up really slowly. I call it the slow start, where we're really going to build the basic building blocks together so that when you come off of week one, you are like someone who went to kindergarten to learn the alphabet. You're going to have the basics in your toolkit, in your understanding already. And then we talk about the various parts of the sky, the big four, the 12 houses, dignity matters. Planets have dignity. You want to understand that. Otherwise, there's nothing you're going to understand without that. Dignity matters. We're also using whole sign houses, and this is ancient Hellenistic astrology. The focus will not be on the outer planets because we can't use them as time lords. And so it's not that there's anything wrong with the outer planets, but they're not good for timing your best life. Unless you want to live 248 years, says Pluto, 164 years, says Neptune, or 84 years, says Uranus. They're not the most timely tools, right? Solar returns is one of the things we do, and we learn about the perfection ages. Now, you may think I know all about my solar return and my perfection age. I don't think you do. I embed in some advanced tools there for you that you won't probably find anywhere else after like 8 years and thousands of clients, nonstop teaching and seeing real clients in the trenches. I have figured a few things out, and I always like to share what I figured out with you guys so that you can also use those tools the way I do. There's always bonus content here. And so you get from me, not to use until you've taken Sky Reader, the birthday chart advanced course as your solar return, the annual perfections advanced course, and how to find people in your chart. Where's my mom? Where's my kids? Where's my husband? Where's my siblings? How to find the planets that represent those people in your chart. That is also a part of a course that I've taught that I give you as a part of your bonus toolkit. Okay, so I hope you guys will go over. I hope you'll have fun if you come to study with me. I would love to see you there. When I talk about teaching, without a doubt, it is my favorite thing to do. It gives me a joy, actually. I remember years ago, I went to see a psychic reader in Coquitlam, Canada. That's outside of Vancouver. She looked at me as I walked in the room. This is like 15 years ago. And she said, teacher, 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 you are a teacher. At the time, I was a magazine editor and a writer, and I had no idea what she was talking about. And look at her today. She was right 15 years later. That is my passion. That is what I do. Hope you'll join me. I'll see you guys in Sky Reader, and let's have some fun learning together. Everyone have a very good, wherever you are, day, month, or year.
Lunatic astrology.